Hey, it's Sol with your guide to week 35 of Shadowlands. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for these weekly reminders and all things Warcraft. Let's kick it off with some hotfixes. It appears that finally, at last, the Mailroom Mayhem encounter in Tazavesh has been hotfixed. Previously, there were problems where players would run into these bombs that they need to toss aside, but they couldn't pick them up. So now you have to manually click on them to pick them up before you can move them. Personally, I was hoping for a more swift response for the sake of letting people play, but with this change, hey, now we can at least move on with our lives. A new perk has been added to the Archivist Codex faction that will reduce the Stygia lost when you die by 75%. Nice little maw perk, and like many of the other perks from the Archivist Codex faction, it's account-wide, so I suggest you pick this thing up ASAP. Domination Shard set bonuses have finally been given the teeth that they needed. What we've been seeing on the PTR have been effectively the rank 1 bonuses, but just like the shards, they have 5 ranks that can make your character super effective as they earn more Stygian Embers. The intended player behavior is pretty simple. You choose your favorite sets and you rank them up one at a time as needed for maximum effectiveness. Of course, a lot of us have been using Stygian Embers as we get them too, and really there's no problem with that. Personally, I invested into the Bubble Shard for the highest effective healing from a single shard, and I'm looking forward to completing the Blood set so I can get closer to passing up my healers. Yeah, you heard that right. So now let's get on to what is up this week. The world boss this week, aside from Morgeth in the Maw, is Mortanis over in Maldraxxus. As a reminder, those of you who completed Chapter 5 of the campaign unlocked a weekly world quest over in Desmotarian, where the Sanctum Raid entrance and Morgeth are. Completing it will score you a prize, as well as a chunk of Death's advanced rep, as well as a step closer to the snazzy rewards from that faction. Arena skirmishes are the name of the game this week, with a 5-minute queue and a 2-minute match, so go go go. Also, this week's brawl is Deep 6, one of my favorites, where you deal with modified battlegrounds based on smaller teams. Remembering the name of the person who kicked your butt makes these BGs feel a lot more personal. I think by now you folks know the usual routine. Go and pick up your weekly Anima quest over at your Sanctum. Pop on over to Korthia to pick up the Shaping Fate weekly and complete a round of daily content. Book it up north into the Maw to do the Covenant Assault, a Tormentors of Torghast event if it's up, as well as the World Boss, maybe the bonus World Quest if it's available, and you should be good for completing both weekly quests and coming away with a ton of goodies. Over in Torghast Town, we should at last have Layer 12 available, and with it, the maximum amount of Soul Cinders that one could earn in a week outside of Mission Table Fun Time. This week should also mark the first week where players will be able to make their first Rank 6 Legendaries. Ew. Double check your currency tab though. How much ash have you piled up in the meantime? I have a feeling it's more than enough to make a Legendary from scratch. Funny how that works. So gold makers, keep an eye on the prices of rank 6s and Korthite's crystals. There's no telling how things are going to go. The increase of tower knowledge each week has been interesting since the start of the season. It started at 180, and then it went to 400, and at the moment it's at 700. So the knowledge cap hasn't just been going up, it's been accelerating. Eventually though, I think this increase is going to stop somewhere. Maybe it has already because, well, 300 is a nice round number to stop at. Another 300 or so points should be more than enough to get folks some of the most powerful bonuses, and by that I'm talking about more blessings and fewer torments, as well as making the Adamant Vault accessible for them and their party. Over in Mythic Plus World, we bid a brief goodbye to Fortified and a, well, kind of welcome hello to Tyrannical. As for the other fixes, well, there's only so many combinations and we don't quite know what we're going to see, but let's take a stab. So far this season, we've seen Raging and Inspiring as the level 4 affix, with Volcanic and Grievous as the level 7 affix. Seeing how this is going to be a tyrannical week, I'm going to take a stab and say that we might get Bolstering and Quaking. This is based on some logic, the fact that none of the combinations in this season have been the same as last season, and we just haven't seen these affixes yet. But now that I think about it, there might be a chance we might see Bolstering and Explosive. Ugh, but, it's possible. So cross your fingers and prepare your pitchforks. I'd also like to hear from those of you out in Mythic Plus World. How has this season been so far, now that we're a few weeks in? I'm seeing a suspiciously high amount of chatter among folks who already completed their Keystone Master achievement. Does this season feel easier, harder? What's the big factor, score or the affix? And finally, off to Covenant Land. The renown cap has been raised to 51. Renown 49 kicks off what will be a series of conduit unlocks for each of your soulbinds. Renown 50 will unlock a new chapter of the Covenant campaign and a modest 2% stamina increase. Completing that will get you to Renown 51, and another conduit row will unlock for hopefully your other favorite soulbind. Not the most massive additions this week, but adding another endurance or a finesse conduit to your arsenal can't hurt. With that, we conclude our series of reminders for this week. Don't forget to hit the like button to support the channel and to come back at the end of the week for the recap. Have a great week, folks, and we will see you next time. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.